Forgive me, mortal, if my voice finds you in the silence between dreams. I have walked the ruins of empires and dined beneath eclipses, but even after 1,000 years, nothing unsettles me quite like her. Not the wars I've bled through, not the pyres they built in my name, not even the sun which once kissed my skin before the curse claimed it. There is something different about her. She does not tremble when I pass. She does not sleep like others. And her eyes, they carry a silence older than mine. I have lived among mortals long enough to recognize one who does not belong. And yet, she moves through this city like smoke, vanishing before I can touch the truth of her. You must understand, when you've lived as long as I have, the world grows dull. Repetition dulls the senses, lovers fade, friends decay, but this girl, she stirred something in me I thought long dead. It began, as most curses do, quietly. She moved in across the hall. I moved into the top floor of an old brownstone overlooking the park, a forgotten relic nestled in the spine of the city. Its bones are stone and oak, its breath, the creak of floorboards and the sigh of radiators that haven't been replaced in decades. The ivy outside has grown thick, greedy, clutching the brickwork like memory, refusing to let go. They say the building is haunted. I suppose they are right. After all, I'm here. It's a good place to disappear. The humans downstairs barely lift their eyes. They stare only at their feet, their futures. They wouldn't notice if I vanished into mist before the elevator closed. But then, she moved in. She arrived on a rainy Thursday. No moving truck, no noise, just a single battered suitcase and a cardboard box marked Wuthering Heights. I heard her humming in the hall, something old, off-key, sweet. A song I hadn't heard since the winter of 1849. She lives in apartment 4B, directly across from mine. A strange symmetry. She smells of lavender oil, old paper, and something else. Something electric, like the air before a storm. She makes tea at midnight. I know, because the scent drifts under my door. Always chamomile, always alone. She doesn't speak to the other tenants. She speaks to her plants. She names them softly, as if apologizing to each leaf for dragging them into the city. She fascinates me. And yet, something is off. Not in the way mortals distrust one another, muttering about rent, theft, broken locks. No, this is deeper, older. There is a hum beneath her presence, a ripple in the air when she walks by. The pigeons on the windowsill scatter before she arrives. The shadows shift, ever so slightly, away from her. I've known many humans. I fed on kings, scholars, tyrants, and fools. She is none of them, and all of them. One night, I caught her standing in the hallway mirror, staring at herself, not fixing her hair, not checking her makeup, just staring for nearly 13 minutes. She didn't blink. I waited in my doorway, unseen. When she finally turned to leave, I swear to you, she looked straight through me and smiled. It was not a kind smile. It was not unkind either. It was a knowing smile, as though she recognized me, as though she remembered something we had never spoken of. That was when the dreams began. Dreams of fire, of blood on marble floors, of a girl in red, whispering in a tongue I had not heard since Prague, 1612. And for the first time in centuries, I wondered if I was the one being watched. It started with a whisper, not mine, hers. I was returning from a walk beneath the city, the hour when the streetlights flicker and the world forgets to breathe. That's when I heard it, low, fragmented words drifting through the hallway. Her voice, she was speaking to someone, but she lived alone. I moved to the mirror in the corridor, the one I never appear in. The glass was clouded with age, but the image beyond was sharp. She was lying in bed, eyes closed, lips moving like a prayer, spoken in reverse. And her hands, they moved with rhythm, fingers twitching, almost conducting the air. At first, I thought it was sleep talking, a trick of exhaustion, until I recognized the words. Latin, then Enochian, languages that have no place in modern mouths. I stood there for hours. Each night I returned. She spoke of cities long since crumbled, of rivers that dried centuries ago, of me. She described battlefields I had slaughtered across. She named temples where I had hidden, and then she named me. Not the name I use now, not the name on forged documents, but my true name. The name whispered by dying monks in the catacombs of Byzantium, the one carved into the altar I burned to the ground. I should have left, turned away, fled, but I couldn't. Each night, I lingered by her door, listening, remembering. It wasn't just her words. It was the way she said them, like she had been there, like she had stood behind me for centuries. And then, one night, she stopped. Silence. She lay motionless, breath shallow. I stepped closer. And that's when her eyes opened, wide, calm, no fear, only knowing. She looked directly at the mirror, not at her reflection. At me, and she smiled. That night, I remembered something I had long forgotten, what it feels like to be prey. She wasn't alive, not in the way your kind understands life, not with warmth, not with rhythm. I saw it in her eyes, pupils etched with runes only spoken in the first tongue. Her gaze shimmered with silver lines that pulsed like a spell still whispering. She had no heartbeat. And yet, her breath fogged the mirror. She was like me, but not. She was older. That night, I could not sleep. And so at dawn, yes, dawn, when even I grow weary, I returned to her door. It opened before I touched it, unlatched, waiting, as if I had already been expected. Inside was not an apartment, it was a crypt dressed as a home. No clutter, no color, no scent of coffee or dust or lavender, only the silence of stone and memory. On every wall, black and white photographs, hundreds, maybe more, and every one was of me. Some from the 19th century, blurry, faded, taken in secret, others from last night. Me, standing in the corridor, me, staring into the mirror that never shows my face. And then I saw it, in the center of the room. A coffin, not a vampire's resting place, not decorative, not metaphorical. It was real, ancient, lined in red velvet, etchings in Enochian around the base. And its lid, open, empty. She doesn't sleep in a bed. She sleeps in remembrance. I ran my fingers across the wood, cold, smooth, familiar, and that's when I felt it. A single strand of long dark hair caught on the edge. Still warm, she had risen before I entered, not a coincidence, a performance. She wanted me to see, and in that moment I finally understood. She is not becoming something, she is returning to it. She wasn't watching me out of curiosity, she was remembering. You see, this isn't the first time I've known her, not the first time I feared her. Centuries ago, in the hills of Tuscany, I laid her to rest, in secret, in stone. She was not yet what she is now. She was a witch then, feared, hunted, untouchable, beautiful as dusk, and dangerous as the words she whispered when the moon bled red. I didn't kill her, I couldn't. I buried her to protect the world. And perhaps, foolishly, to protect myself. She slept beneath the floor of a monastery for 400 years, a circle of silver carved around her tomb. A luck forged from my own blood, but time forgets, lucks rust, and curses. They do not sleep forever. She remembers now, not just who I am, but what I did. Every night, she stands by the window, the same one that overlooks the cemetery behind this building, still as death, wrapped in crimson silk, eyes open, never blinking, waiting. Sometimes I catch her lips moving again, not in Latin, not in Enochian, but in my language, the language of before. I do not know if she means to love me again, or to destroy me for what I did. Perhaps both. And that is the cruelest part of eternity. Even monsters like me are capable of regret. They say the past sleeps beneath layers of dust and stone, but I have seen it rise, wrapped in red silk, eyes wide open, and now she watches me sleep.